Hey everyone, Dragon Critic, aka Leo O'Brien. I'm up very early actually. It's 8:27 a.m. in Ireland. It's nearly half 8 in the morning. Today I'm going to be seeing Puss in Boots 2: The Last Wish. I'm going to the Irish premiere. Um, I'm going to the Sky VIP premiere, and it's all thanks to one of my SNAs in school. I'll be talking more about that later on in my review. So yeah, I'm very excited. I think it's going to be a good movie. I've been hearing lots of great things. I've heard a few people call it a letdown, but most people I've heard say that it's fantastic, and everyone has praised the villain. Everyone's praised the big bad wolf as one of the best DreamWorks villains since Lord Shen. So that's one thing that has me very hyped. I've seen bits of him, and he looks outstanding. His design looks amazing. So I'm very excited about him. I'm very excited to see the story. So yeah, I hope it's a good movie. Very excited to see it. I'm going to be seeing it with my friend Tig, my mum, and my sister. So very exciting. It's in view in Liffey Valley. So yeah, let's go to the premiere.
Who is your favorite fearless hero? Who is your favorite fearless hero?
And we have arrived. Let's go. Here we go! Movie finished. Puss in Boots 2: The Last Wish was released in 2022, but in Ireland, UK, and a few other countries, it was released in 2023, and it was directed by Joel Crawford, the same guy who directed The Croods 2: A New Age, a movie that I did end up rewatching and thought it was terrible. So yes, that definitely had me very concerned at first. It tells the story of Puss, who is on the last of his 9 lives, and now he teams up with Kitty Softpaws and meets a dog named Perito as they try to find the wishing star, but they must confront with a group of villains such as Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Jack Horner, and
the big bad wolf.
So I have finally seen Puss in Boots 2: The Last Wish. I was very hyped to see it, and now I finally got to go see it at the Sky VIP Irish premiere. Well, I should say the Irish Sky VIP premiere screening, thanks to one of my SNAs/helpers in school. And I forgot to talk about them in my last 2 videos talking about school, so I really regret that, because they're amazing people. Genuinely amazing people. And the SNA that gave me the premiere tickets actually looks a lot like Principal Randall from Dino Thunder and the Granny from Abominable. So again, thank you so much for giving me those tickets. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I really do go to a school of excellence, don't I? Thank you so much. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have seen this movie today. So again, a huge thank you. Okay, I have to say, after seeing this movie today, a lot of hype was around it. Because unfortunately, the movie was supposed to come out in Ireland back in October, but Universal thought it was a good idea while the movie was being delayed to December in America. They decided it was a good idea for us to wait till February. Much like the Kung Fu Panda 3 wait. But anyway, this movie is a bit better than Kung Fu Panda 3 anyway. But I have to say, I was very impressed with Puss in Boots 2: The Last Wish. I love this movie. I do have 1 or 2 nitpicks, I will admit. I don't quite think it's as good as Shrek 2. I don't quite think it's. I don't know. I think Shrek 2 is a bit funnier, but this is an amazing movie. The storyline, how it deals with mortality, death, it's really well done. It's a lot of mature themes, and the journey Puss goes through is quite engaging. It's quite compelling. And the fact that this is the same guy that directed The Croods too, which I thought was terrible, and this movie has some scenes that are really dark. I'm going, this is the same director? Holy crap, the direction of the film by Joel Crawford is fantastic. Joel Crawford does a lot of plot twists and turns that I didn't see coming. There's a scene in the beginning. Well, it's in the first act where we're first introduced to the main villain, the big bad wolf, played by Wagner Moura. And there's a piece of this scene, I don't want to spoil it, but it honestly reminded me of how violent some of the action scenes got in the Owls of Ga'Hoole. That had me shocked. Genuine shocked I was. And I have to say, it was probably the darkest scene I've seen from a DreamWorks movie. Because it's just a moment I didn't see coming at all. I don't want to spoil it, but I did not see it coming at all. I think this movie, it really wasn't made for kids. I mean, yeah, it's a family movie, but I think this time they really tried to make it more appealing to older kids. That's great. And I think the third movie will continue that. I can't see much parent complaints. I haven't heard many people complain about the wolf being too scary, but I have a good feeling the third movie will continue the same maturity tone if they do decide to make a third movie. I hope they do. I have to say, though, I was very impressed by the story. Very well written. The first half, kind of a little slow in a few areas, but still great regardless. I just think there's a lot of focus on the character development and the character interactions, and the movie really does focus on a lot of relationships. The relationship between Puss, Kitty and Perito, and the relationship with Goldilocks and the Three Bears crime family. There's so much chemistry in this movie, and it really brings in the heart of the movie. So I have to say, the storyline, magnificent. This is definitely one of the best storylines told in a DreamWorks movie. I was very impressed by the story in the movie. And the humour is pretty good too. I will admit, one or two jokes I found a little flat. But other than that, I thought the jokes were pretty good. It's just not as funny as Shrek 2. That's all I'll say. The animation. One thing, before the movie's trailers were out, one thing I was really worried that DreamWorks would do, this was what Grug looked like in The Croods 1. And that's what he looked like in The Croods 2. He looked different, and it just looked jarring. And I was so afraid Puss in Boots 2 would look jarring. And while they did change the art style, he doesn't look jarring. It looks fantastic. The animation in this movie, absolutely incredible. A lot of stuff really was inspired by Into the Spider-Verse, especially with the frame rate. There were times where the frame rate really did capture the comic book look, much more than the bad guys did. While I can see why some would prefer the original animation style of the original, and fair enough, that is the original animation style, but I dare say, I think the sequel looks better. I think the character colours look better. I think Puss's fur looks much more better in terms of colour, and I think the texture improved. It is noticeably different, yes, but it doesn't look jarring, which I was so grateful for. I think the humans improved. They look much more polished than they did in the first movie, and the backgrounds, while more colourful, it still looks really, really pretty. So I have to say, the animation in the movie, fantastic. The movie's characters, there's a lot of characters. And you know what? Everyone got time to shine. Puss was great in this movie. We usually see him as a fearless and confident hero, but this time we see him more terrified of being on his last life and how he's trying to avoid his death. It's a really great act, and it's very compelling to watch. Kitty Softpaws is great too. It's very nice to see her again, and I enjoyed her dynamic with Puss, and it's great to see her open up more. Perito is fantastic. He's so lovable and charming, and he's just a delight to watch on screen. His bond with Puss and Kitty really brings in the heart of the movie, and it's great to see how the three of them end up. We have the villains. Jack Horner is a fun antagonist, but there's not much to say about him as much as Goldilocks, who is a character who I liked more than I thought I would. She has quite a compelling story in the film, actually, and the three bears are quite fun to watch too. They share a good dynamic with Goldie, and it really feels like the movie has a lot of relationships to focus on. Then there's the main antagonist, the big bad wolf played by Wagner Moura. Oh boy, this was the guy I was very hyped about, and he doesn't disappoint one bit. His presence is absolutely fantastic. He's definitely the most intimidating villain from DreamWorks since Lord Shen, and I think the wolf is one of the best aspects of the film, as when you see this guy, you know it's about to get serious. My only nitpick, I do wish he was in the movie just for one or two more scenes. That's all, but what we get with him, absolutely incredible. Yeah, Puss in Boots 2 has a very, very memorable cast of characters. And the Big Bad Wolf might be, I'm gonna have to think about it. He could be my new favourite movie villain. Maybe. I'd have to think about it. The music of the movie is great. The end credits song is really catchy. The song in the beginning of the movie, Who is Your Favorite Fearless Hero, extremely catchy. Great stuff. The instrumental music, absolutely phenomenal. A really nice contrast to the first movie. The music of the movie, great stuff. The film has a fantastic soundtrack. So yes, I am very, very happy to say Puss in Boots 2 lives up to the hype, and I have a very good feeling the movie's going to get better the next time I see it. Overall, Puss in Boots 2 is a fantastic movie. It tells a very engaging and deep story, beautiful new animation, great characters, and excellent music. I don't quite think it's as good, but it's definitely right up there with Shrek 2. I'm going to give Puss in Boots 2, The Last Wish, a definite 10 out of 10. Also, another special thank you to my SNA/helper from school that gave me those tickets. Thank you. Thank you so much. You have no idea how grateful I am. Thank you so much. And since Joel Crawford is going to be directing Kung Fu Panda 4, I will say I have good faith the movie will have amazing action and an amazing villain, but I'm still concerned, but I'm mostly optimistic about it. I'm not going to have any expectations. I'm just going to be... I'm curious about it for now. I'll wait until the trailer comes out. I'm definitely going to see it again. That's for sure. I've always been a big fan of the first Puss in Boots. It does have some issues here and there, but I still think it's a really great movie. And I've always controversially preferred it over the first Shrek, but not as much as Shrek 2. But now, my favourite movies in the Shrek franchise are Shrek 2 and Puss in Boots 2. I have to say, just amazing stuff. I'm very happy with how this movie turned out. I'm definitely going to see this one again. Hell yeah, like, I'm definitely going to see this. Like, I really want to see it again. And hopefully, I'm going to go see it, hopefully on the Friday, which this Friday it comes out. And hopefully go see it again before the midterm break, and maybe early on the midterm break. And then I might wait a few weeks, maybe after Ant-Man 3. And I might see if I can try take my auntie to see the movie. Because I'd love to bring my auntie to see it. So yeah, overall, great movie. Thank you all for watching my review. What do you think of the movie? Are you excited to see the movie for yourself? Stay tuned for my next review. Until then, take care guys. Thank you for watching, and skidoosh.